decisions, great mound visits, great job not letting the best player beat you.
This one crushed, out to right field. And it's going to be out of here. Pennsylvania walk-off home run. Travis Gavin sends him to Williamsport.
With the 37th pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Kevin McGonigal, a shortstop from Monsignor Bonner High School, Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field. It's deep. It's going. Yes! And it is gone!
Yes!
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, his 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
What is up, Delaware County, and welcome back for episode number 59 of Delco Baseball. Now, that guy over there is Ben Thorpe. I am Brennan Ricciardi, and the Central League season has come to a close, and it did so in thrilling fashion.
Yeah, no, there was a lot that went down to the wire. We could call the title race, like how it finished, a little anticlimactic, but outside of that, there was a ton of drama, like a ton of just different moving parts that I think we got, good answers on after today.
Yeah, anticlimactic is a good word. The number one word, so obviously I was at the Strath Haven and Penncrest game. Ben was at Radnor and Ridley. And the number one word I had to describe was just bizarre. Like, you have Strath Haven, they just lost a 1-run game to their rival on the road just to come back and find out that, we just won the Central League outright, which I think happened during the game. But it's just kind of like, you're left being like, hey, like, we're the champs, but also like we got work to do before districts start. Yeah,
it was funny. I think like for a while, it was like, Haven's up. I think they were up 2-0 for most of the game. I was like, it's not going to end up mattering. That game got tied up. The Ridley and Garnet game got tied at 1. And for a little bit, we're like, oh shit, like here it comes. And then Ridley, granted, they were playing for their season. They played an incredible game, by the way. Shout out to Chris Kimmel and Jake Mansfield, who threw fantastic. But they got the walk-off, and then, I was like, all right, well, now it's kind of over. It doesn't really matter.
See, that was the issue because Strath Haven and Penncrest started at 4:15.
I was wondering how they were so far behind.
I wish they started at the same time, so that stuff would have happened like a little more at the same time. Yeah. When Gavin hit that home run, as we'll talk about, to give Penncrest a 3-2 lead, I think the game was already like Garnet had already won at that or already lost at that point.
I can check. Let me see. I can check our texts. Let me see. So,
I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, I think it already won. Well, actually, I'm not sure.
No, Gavin went yard during. So that was also like John Tien had to have been like at least 12 pitch at bat. He like fouled off a million balls and ran up a 3-2 count. So he was up. Like Tien's at bat started. He was the one who came up and had the sack fly of the bases.
Yeah.
He was up. I sent that he was like hit by pitch, bases loaded for him. 3 minutes later, you said that Gavin took Luke Oppo.
And he was still batting.
And it was that was still going. And then finally, looking at my text, like the timestamps on them, it was a 5-minute at bat. So he took Luke Oppo, and then Tien had the walk-off sack fly. So immediately that meant nothing.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Penncrest because what a great win. That'll be great for the clubhouse, but it's like it moved them up one spot. They didn't get the bye week, which is unfortunate. But
yeah, I don't know if they really would have had a shot at it. 5 losses.
Gavin after the game, Gavin thought that they were stuck at 6, so at least they got up a little bit. But all right, let's just go into this day as a whole. So we'll kind of start from the beginning here. We'll start off with Strath Haven and Penncrest played. Radnor and Ridley played. The situation was that Strath Haven could win the Central League with a win or with a Garnet Valley loss. So it was Luke Dancona. So Henry Murphy got the start for Penncrest, who I don't think, according to Gavin, hadn't pitched more than 2 innings in a game all year. He just,
I don't even know if I've seen him pitch.
I just remember them talking about him during the interview where, he kind of came out of nowhere. So they wanted to get, I guess, just see what he had, and he was good. I mean, one of the runs scored on a steal of third that went into the outfield, so that wasn't on him. So I think he went 5 innings, 1 earned run. Pretty impressive outing for his first true, we're going to give you the ball and whatever happens in the start happens. And, it's almost one of those things where I feel like, because Gavin's going to start their first game. And if they win, I think it's going to kind of be a whole staff thing. I don't know if they're going to have any one pitcher try and go through the lineup multiple times. So this is kind of just we want to get him that confidence and go from there. But Strath Haven went up 2-0. Jake McDonough absolutely smoked a double off the fence that made it 2-0. And then in the inning for Penncrest, the big one was they had Josh Kalinowski had you couldn't have even rolled it to a more perfect spot. That I think it was technically an error because Luke bobbled it, but I don't think there was a play anyway. And then Nico Tazzi had the sac fly, so that made it 2-2. Bottom of the 6th, Gavin takes a curveball over the left field, not even left center, just dead left field.
Jeez.
Third homer.
How far is it at Penncrest?
They didn't have anything up, but I mean, I feel like it was, I'd say standard, if not a little deeper to the outfields.
Okay, that makes sense.
But so Penncrest won that game. Gavin actually closed out. He threw the last 2 innings, so it was the ultimate I'll do it all myself. Mm-hmm. So at that point, Garnet Valley could have got their split of the Central League, but they didn't. So tell us what happened there.
So that was I got there and Garnet was up 1-0. They had probably, while I was pulling into my parking spot, took the lead 1-0. I honestly kind of missed what happened there. Ridley, I think in the bottom of the 5th, tied it up at 1-1. Scoreless 6th, scoreless 7th. Well, scoreless top of the 7th, and then really just kind of you could see the Ridley team kind of get together in the dugout, have some kind of talk, and just come out just screaming like maniacs.
Ridley psychopaths. We knew it from the interview. We knew it from the interview.
But so their first leadoff hitter draws a walk. It was a sack bunt. Then they intentionally walked Bryant Cawthorn, and then this one was brutal. It was a 1-2 count, and the Garnet's pitcher, Joe Anzalone, tried to throw some kind of loopy curveball thing and just left an arm side, one of those really.
Or just plunked him, or
just left this. I don't know, really soft curveball. One of those ones you just kind of stand there and it hits you, and you're all right, and that loaded the bases for T. And
all right, breaking news: the Phillies won.
All right, there we go.
They were down 4-2 going into the top of the 9th. Bryson Stott hit a solo homer. They ended up loading the bases, and with 2 outs, Edwin Diaz drilled Alec Bohm in the hand.
No way.
So that tied the game, and then in extras, I think they'd had a sac fly, but good win for the boys there.
But Tank probably losing it.
Oh my God, yeah. It'd be a great rant. But so basically, there were 3 main Central League games that had the most implications today, whether that be for the Central League race or for teams making the playoffs. So the Ridley and Garnet one mattered for both. Garnet was chasing the title. Ridley, I don't know if they needed to win to get in, but the win secured their spot because there's a lot of teams. There's so many teams that are 8-8, 7-9. 7-9 probably would not have got them in.
It maybe it might have gotten them in.
They're up conference games.
Yeah, they would have needed help. And I mean, the way it looks, a lot of teams did win their 8th game. So I mean, Ridley's up at 19th now at 8.
Yeah. We'll get to the full rankings in a little bit, but Ridley's in, and another team that is in as well in walk-off fashion is Radnor. In addition to Ridley, the Radnor Raptors took down Springfield in, I believe, comeback fashion. I think it was 2-0 at one point.
It was 2-0.
And Andres Cruz walk-off RBI double sent the Raptors dancing. Another one of those where 8-8 might have got them in, depending on how the bubble shaped, but 9-7 Those
For
guys
sure.
locked up their spot. Definitely a team that, they battled some injuries. They started 0-3 in the Central League. They were missing a ton of guys at the beginning of the year. They slowly started to get healthier. Still missing their starting catcher from torn ACL. But, their rotation, man, Austin Havertine, Daniel Kellis, Ryan McWilliams, and Danny Armstrong potentially coming back are a team that, they're going to be in a lot of different playoff games. And if these young bats keep swinging it well, then they're going to be a dark horse coming out of the lower half of the region.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're gonna be a tough team to beat, and that was, I don't know, it was weird. Like I remember seeing them in their first game and being really unimpressed. And then they played close games against Marple and Strath Haven. It was like, okay, maybe they're a little bit better, and then they just picked it up the rest of the year. I mean, they're hot right now, and they've been proven to be a tough team to beat. So
I think that was. Have we seen them in person since then? I don't think I have.
No, I don't think I've seen them in person since that first game.
I don't know when I would have. I don't think so. But yeah, I remember coming out of that game thinking Austin Havertine looks good, but the lineup just looks young and inexperienced, but they got that experience throughout the year, and they're going to be an exciting team to watch. And that game, I believe it was Daniel Kellis starting for Radnor, right?
Yeah, Daniel Kellis started, and then
I think both Havertines pitched like an inning or two. I think it was a combined effort.
Yeah, I saw the other one's Blake, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw Blake Havertine was pitching, and then I know McWilliams also pitched at the end too.
I think it was just get a little bit of everybody. I think they play Episcopal on Wednesday. That feels like another just get guys work and be ready because they're no matter where they are, they're going to play on Monday, so they want to have everybody ready to go for that. But it looks like Radnor scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th to take the lead. Springfield came back. They scored 1 in the top of the 7th on a Matt Bean single. And then Andres Cruz walked it off with 2 outs. I'm sorry, not 2 outs. No, I'm sorry. That was they went to the bottom of the 8th. So they went to the 8th inning. Teddy Monahan singled and Andres Cruz doubled. So very, very exciting way for both of those two teams to make it, especially because they knew with the win they were in. So it's not like they won. It's like, oh, we got to wait. Like that's a very exciting way to do this. Real quick, I do want to talk. I know this is a little bit more last week, but we haven't got to record since Austin Havertine's no-hitter. That's our second individual 7-inning no-hitter along with Will Hoffman's perfect game, I think, right? Just not combined, just pure one guy.
Yeah, like full 7 innings, one guy.
Was Nick Gordon 7 innings against Upper Darby? Because that might have been.
Was it? I don't know.
I think it might have been because I think that was a close game for a while.
I can check that.
Yeah, check that. But either way, very impressive performance by him. He's really, I mean, he had a good, as obviously, as a freshman, but he had a solid year as a freshman, and he's really taken that jump. I think Radnor has their stats public, at least for me, to be able to check. It looks like, not anymore. I think it's happened with a couple teams. I think they just locked all their stats for anyone for playoffs. I think I could see Marples in the regular season, but not anymore. I totally get it. They want to make sure
for a scouting purposes or just
you never know who's on the family. They probably just cleared everyone that wasn't a team or a coach, which I totally understand.
To answer your question, Nick Gordon also his was 7 innings.
That's what I thought because I remember it being a bigger deal, going the distance. So shout out to Austin for putting his name on the board. Definitely been the year of the pitcher. So
yeah, for sure. We've had, just seen a lot of talent, and not even just seniors, guys who are going to be around for a little bit, especially guys like Austin, Jimmy Boyle, Dan Cohn will be back for another year. And then obviously your Van, Will Hoffman, all these guys It's been a good year for pitchers.
The Van started 51 innings. He has 0 earned runs.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
I feel every time he pitches, it's just 1-0.
We will be doing full Delco awards, MVP, Cy Young, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all this different type of stuff. I don't think it's exactly, kind of spoiling anything that Van is probably going to win the Cy Young. I mean, if you let up 0 runs, there's really not much room for interpretation.
It's going to be hard to find. Yeah, it's going to be hard to find someone else.
Unless the dude puts up 30 in the playoffs. I don't know what it's like.
As well as other guys have done,
it's just
he's been unscorable upon.
I think that's a word. Or we just make that up?
That was not a
unscorable. That's totally not a word. We'll make that up. Put that on a t-shirt.
Oh, he did. So he did. I mean, unearned, but I think he gave up a run against Penncrest.
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 unearned.
Yeah.
But all right, let's. So obviously, this episode we got to talk about today. But we're gonna go back in time. We're gonna talk about the last week. We got to start off with our 5-star hiring game of the week, and that's presented by our guy James Grugan, and his company will help you get connected. Whether you are a business looking to add new talent, whether you're a student athlete looking for corporate opportunities, or whether you're a coach that wants to prepare their athletes for life after sports, reach out to 5-star hiring to learn more about how they can assist you, your team, or your organization. That's 5starhiring.net or 5-star hiring on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find James Grugan on Twitter as well. And this was one of the best individual high school baseball performances I've personally ever seen from Gavin Brown and Penncrest. He threw 6 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts, and that was the least impressive part of his day because at the plate he had 2 home runs and a double. He drove in 4 RBIs in a 5-0 win. And that is like the ultimate, like, I'm going to show you that I am the best player on the field right now.
Yeah, dude. Like he was unbelievable. We've been lucky enough to witness like a lot of really good performances out of him. That was by far the best, though. He stole the show, really.
They always say every MVP has like their MVP moment or like their Heisman moment, like that, right? I mean, you can take that maybe his homer against Luke, but like
both of them really. Like
I think it's just this stretch right now of like literally just putting this team on his back, and I hope that's not taken as disrespectful to anyone on Penncrest. I think they'll be the first ones to agree as well. You know, what he's doing has been unlike anything that anybody else is doing in terms of what they mean to the team as a whole. And I do real quick want to give a quick shout out to Marple. It's just those boys got red hot, and then all of a sudden their best 2 players got hurt. Lusenberger is most likely out for the year. Bennett Cox is probably out. He said he might be able to for the playoffs, but it's 50-50. But just to see like the life taken out of that team, nobody's going to be able to keep their spirits up losing 2 guys like that. It sucks.
Yeah, it's just brutal. And that was, I mean, we were saying it's like they're starting to look like the team we thought they were going to be. And as soon as you get there, that to have that happen, just especially like on a team like that where all these guys are like most of their contributors are seniors, it's just brutal.
Yeah, it's just I can't, I mean, in a way, I unfortunately can relate to those guys since I broke my ankle like the day before our World Series. But I feel like there's something different about it. High school, those guys all grew up together, and it sucks that they're not getting a fully loaded squad. Now, with that being said, there's still a lot of talent on this team. I still believe this team, if they're starting, I mean, Aiden Kern's been outstanding.
Yeah,
I still think they can, make some noise in the playoffs. It's just without those 2 guys at the top of the order, it's tough to see a really deep run. I hope I'm wrong. It's nice they got Jason Bennett back. I just wish those 3 got more time together. But yeah, this game was a prime example of why night games at Marple should happen more often, and why essentially playoff there. I think that student section should go up in that hill. That hill where we were behind the plate was an awesome place to watch a game.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was, and we bounced around a little bit before we could figure out like that. That seems like the ideal place to watch the game at Marple. It might be having a student section back there, especially right behind home plate, might not go well because it's a little bit distracting, or it would be a little bit distracting for like pitchers and hitters, but still being up there.
That's the point. You want it to be,
Yeah, but I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with in the bigs.
Yeah, good point.
On the plate, But, all right, let's move on to a very good high school baseball game that I got to watch. That was Bonner and Malvern on Saturday. Just so much talent on that field. So much talent on the field. And both teams threw their guys because for Bonner, their first playoff game will be Saturday at St. Joe's Prep. So this game being on Saturday, Corey Sheridan got the start and went pretty deep because it's like, hey, I want to, I'm getting my body set to pitch on Saturday of next week. So Corey was very good in this game. And Tage Davis started for Malvern. Same thing. I think for Malvern, they'll probably, they'll get a bye in the paces, so they'll probably start next Tuesday. So I think this was just like, just keep the, and this game mattered. So what do we decide? Is it the Holy War, the Battle of the Augustinians, or what was the last one that Bonner?
It's got to be the Holy War. It's
The
got
Holy
to be
War
the
is
Holy
fantastic.
War.
Is that a college baseball like rivalry too?
That is Utah and BYU.
That's
Is the
right.
Holy War.
That's right. Let's see what
That
else
one's
did they
between Mormons. This one's, I guess, Catholics. So
Augustinian? I don't even
Two
know what
different-
that is.
yeah, I would assume Catholic, but
Full disclosure, I do not know what Augustinian means. I'm assuming it's a type
Not
of
really
Catholicism. But yeah, I'm trying to find this tweet to see what their other here we go. The Friar Cup, the Battle of the Augustinians, or the Holy War, whatever you want to call it. Holy
it's gotta
War
be
is
the Holy War.
yeah,
It's gotta be the Holy War.
just the high school Holy War is fine. But yeah, no, great getting to watch another game at Malvern's awesome stadium. I mean, the stadium seats behind the plate. It's the best viewing atmosphere, without a doubt. Very good game all around, I believe. So Bonner went up 2-0. Malvern ended up taking the lead 3-2. It was funny. They'd scored the runs off Harry Carr. Then Harry proceeded to go yard in the top of the inning. So that's tied it up. And then Malvern ended up, I believe it was a wild pitch or like pass ball. Another like bit of an anticlimactic, take the lead there. But yeah, just a good ball game. And it was one of those things where making our power rankings, it was tough because Bonner lost to Malvern, but they played them really well. Haverford beat Malvern. Strath Haven never played them, but the way we kind of looked at it was like Strath Haven was one in their conference, and Bonner was 5. So it's like in terms of power, like that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about those rankings in a sec. But
Yeah.
I think before we talk about the power rankings, I think it's important that we talk about the district rankings. And I don't know if they're all 100% solidified in terms of the actual seed, but I believe we can tell you who's in and who's out of Delco and kind of a rough estimate. So I'm going to pull that up here.
We can definitely say who's in and out. There might be there's a couple teams. There's a couple teams that still have one more league game to play.
All right, so we're going to start off with 1A. We got our Delco Christian boys. They are 11-2. I believe their only losses were to the 1 and 3 teams on this list. So we know that they've been taking care of business outside of that, and they're going to get their chance for revenge. If I'm not mistaken, the Faith game was not particularly close. I don't recall. I don't think the Doc game was
the
that
Doc game
close
was not close either.
I don't think they got like 10 run, but I don't think it was
let's see.
particularly close. If you want to, you can pull it off Game Changer if you want. I'm gonna flip on what do we got on? We got the Stars and the Avalanche. Oh, YouTube TV has a thing where you can put on 2 games like kind of like next to each other. So I got basketball and hockey now. I can't really read the scoreboard though.
Sweet. Did you see that dude got from the Avalanche got sent back into the player like assistance thing? In Shushkin or whatever, he was like in it.
Oh yeah.
He was either in it and back for playoffs last year, or like was in it during playoffs last year. He went like back in again, and this time he's out. I think it's a 6-month suspension.
Jeez.
Yeah, not great. Okay, so they lost 8-1 to Doc and 15-2 to Faith Christian.
Yeah.
So
we'll
neither.
If I had to guess, I think only one team goes to states from 1A, but I'm not. Actually, I'm gonna look that up now that I'm curious.
I think it's one. One. The top 4 play districts, and then I think 1 goes to states.
I agree. I'm just gonna double check for to find people because I feel like there's a lot more 1A schools in different parts of the state, so they all gotta like make up for that.
Yeah, that's once you get out into the sticks, like everyone's 1A.
Yeah, only one.
Well, it's either like 1A or 6A.
Only one team makes it. All right, let's go. 5A is where we're making our money this year. 5A has half of the field in Delco. So we'll start at the top. You see Chichester 11-0. They're not moving from that top spot. Looks like Unionville has crept up to number 2 with Strath Haven's loss today. So Unionville now at 14-3. Beautiful field over there. Wouldn't mind covering a game there. They are number 2. Upper Dublin in 3rd at 11-4. Strath Haven at 4th, 12-4. So those are the teams with the bye weeks: Chichester, Unionville, Upper Dublin, and Strath Haven. For those who are new here, Strath Haven and Upper Dublin played in the championship in 2023 and 2022. 2023 was a Strath Haven win. 22 was an Upper Dublin win. So personally, I would like to see a best 2 out of 3. But another best 2 out of 3 that could happen is Penncrest as the 5 seed. So if they win, as of right now, they would get Strath Haven in the second round. Penncrest is at 11-5. Westchester East in 6th at 12-6. Marple Newtown, another Delco rep, at 10-6. They are the 7th seed. Number 8 is Interboro at 9-3. They are the 8. Number 9 at Phoenixville. That will be 10-6 record for those guys. Radnor's number 10. They are 9-7. Oxford played Strath Haven in that 2021 title where Haven won. That was an Oxford team that I think they beat Marple last year.
Yep.
They're 8-8 and 11, and the last team in right now is Westchester Ruston at 8-9 as a 12 seed. Now this is still a bit subject to change. I have a feeling based on this that Hepper, Horsham, and Upper Moreland have both played 15 games. I got to think they don't play an odd number, so they probably have one more each.
They both do have one more, I believe. And then when I was going through everything, I think Oxford had 2. And then I think Happer, Horsham, and Upper Moreland both had 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think does the Chestmont play 18 games?
It might.
Because Sun Valley's 5-12 in the Chestmont. So
They might. There's a ton of teams in the Chestmont.
do they play 17?
I think it's 18. Let me check this. I believe it's 18 because I thought Ruston had 2 games as well. No, it must be okay. So it must be 17 because Ruston's done.
Okay, yeah, 17 is an odd number. No pun intended, but that's bizarre. I don't even know how many teams are at, but
yeah. So this is interesting. So Happer Horsham has 1 game left. It's against Upper Dublin. So
okay. Interesting.
So they're playing Upper Dublin with a win and in situation. So if they were to pull that off, would Haven then move back up to 3 potentially?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I would. Yeah, they probably should. 12-4 better than 11-5. So yeah, I could see that happening.
And then Upper Moreland has, I think Upper Moreland has 1 game left as well. So
okay,
it's like that 12th seed isn't figured out yet, but I think everything else.
But no Delco teams involved, so it's all good. So yeah, at the end of the day, we got, as of right now, we got Chichester 1, Strath Haven 4, Penncrest 5, Marple 7, Interboro 8, and Radnor 10. That is 6 out of the 12 in the field are Delco. I will say this:
love to see
whoever wins the district championship. It is what it is. We're gonna. I mean, based on numbers alone, we might have to get a team in states. We got three going to states. Like it's not impossible that we don't, but it just feels like we're kind of
there's a lot of different, especially if Upper Dublin loses, there are a ton of different paths to it because that opens up. You look at like Chichester's kind of doing their own thing. If Haven moves to 3, then Penncrest's path is kind of doesn't intersect with Delco until later on. Marple and Radnor don't intersect. Interboro's would, but that Phoenix team.
I believe the bracket comes. I'll check real quick on the site. I believe
Thursday night.
I think there's a meeting Thursday. Yeah, there's a meeting Thursday at 7. Should I join the Zoom?
Can you?
It just says look right here. It says meeting via Zoom, and there's a link. What do you think happens when I click on it?
Click it.
Let's see. There's just a Zoom call link. I think I can join, so I might just do that. Just to...
we should hop in the Zoom.
Should I wear a suit?
You could.
Just go to the meeting. All right, let's get to 6A here. So as you can see, the top 8, the teams that get a bye week, none of these teams are from Delco. So we got we'll rip through it real quick. Quakertown, Plymouth Whitemarsh, Neshaminy, Methacton, Owen-J. Roberts, Downingtown East, Central Bucks East, and Downingtown West. That's probably not going to change because Garnet Valley's done at 11-5 and Downingtown West is 13-4. So their specific order might change, but those 8 teams seem pretty solidified getting their bye week. But that leaves Garnet Valley playing the last team in the dance, which as of right now is Council Rock South. I think for the second year in a row, because isn't that who Zepito threw the 18Ks against in that 924? These guys love drama. Or was that North?
Well, wait, Zepito's on Upper Darby though, wasn't he?
No, I'm saying last year.
Yeah.
Darby played one of the Council Rocks.
I think it was South.
I think it was. I'm saying this will be the second year in a row. They're 24 exactly.
Jeez,
these guys are living on the edge here.
Yeah, man. God damn.
Yeah. So as of right now, Garnet is the 9 seed. They would play Council Rock South at 24. We'll rip through the rest real quick. Wissahickon 10, Pennsbury 11. Our Lower Marion guys at 10-6. They are 12. Springford 13, North Penn 14, Haverford, another Delco school at 15, Avon Grove 16, Souderton 17, Penridge 18th, climbing all the way up to 19th. We got Ridley, our
Go.
Delco boys, the Green Machine. I guess technically Bonner's the Green Machine. We'll say the Tribe is our Ridley guys. Coatesville 20, Council Rock North 21, Westchester Henderson 22, Boyertown 23, then of course Council Rock South. So Garnet Valley would play Council Rock South. Let's see, Lower Merion as the 12. I believe that would give them the 24, 20, the 21, which is Council Rock
North.
So we're about to become the biggest ops of Council Rock.
Yeah, dude.
Without a doubt. Haverford is the 15. That would get them Penridge, the 18. So it looks like every Delco team in 6A outside of Ridley is getting their game at home. It was a good place to start. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's all we got. So let's see. Total, we got one.
Ridley
What's up?
Ridley and North Penn would be the other one right now.
Yeah, it's at the 14-19 Ridley North Penn. Super random, but they had the best high school football playoff game I've ever seen.
I remember that. Didn't they have a really good basketball game too?
I don't remember the basketball, but they had this kid Tahir Mills, who I think ran for like 6 or 7 touchdowns. It was like 50-something to 40-something. It was absurd.
I remember following that game on Twitter. I'm pretty sure there was like a really good basketball game between those two teams as well.
I don't recall that, but
that might have been a little longer ago.
Yeah. But district rankings right there. We got a lot of representation, I think, on the first day alone. So we now have a team of about like 6 or 7 guys. I think we could reasonably send everyone to every home game. You know, like on the first day, we'll get Garnet will be home, Lower Merion home, Haverford home, Penncrest home, Marple home. Probably Interborough could kind of go either way. Probably home. But we'll have a decent amount. Even Delco Christian should be home if they're the 2 seed against Doc. So
actually, potential nice little thing for me. If Haverford wins, they would get Plymouth Whitemark. Right?
Oh, they'd get the boys right around the corner.
I wouldn't have to go that far for a game.
Yeah, that'd be super convenient. If you could
go right down the street. That'd be sweet. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if Garnet Valley wins, they play Downingtown West, and I live right by Downingtown, so we're getting. I think they lost to Downingtown East last year, but all right. Well, I believe that's what we got for the rankings. We'll go through our final power rankings of the season right here, because once playoffs get started, everybody, your district rankings, what's important now. So I'm going to pull up the power rankings here. For anybody watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this in a sec. All right, here we go. So Strath Haven was number 1, and our main rationale for that is it's the conference record, it's the overall record, and just the fact that last week Bonner went 1-2, and Haverford, it was unfortunate it rained. I think they went 1-1 overall. But I just, I will say overall, I'm a little bit worried about the Haven Bats, mostly because they're kind of streaky. But with what they're getting from the rotation on a day in and day out basis, and that 15-3 record is, it's noticeably better than anyone else, and 12-3 is better than anyone in the conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've kind of said it a couple of times, like the Bats are a little bit streaky, but if they get on a good streak in the playoffs, they're going to be just fine.
All right, coming in number 2 is Bonner, and this was more like they played very well in the Malvern Prep game. They almost won that game, which it feels weird bumping them down. The St. Joe's Prep loss wasn't great. They ended up 8-4 in their conference. I think they beat Lansdale Catholic on Wednesday, but it wasn't like a convincing win or anything. So I just felt that at this point, Strath Haven deserved it more. I'm waiting for Bonner's going to play one of these Delco teams in states eventually, and I'm just hoping that this is the year. But number 3, Haverford School. The loss to Germantown Academy is the main reason for the slide down. Not a great loss, but at the end of the day, the Interac has already been decided, so the rest of their Interac season doesn't matter. They're kind of just getting ready. I think the PASA bracket should be out. If it's not tonight, it should be out pretty soon. So we'll have more.
Would they need to finish the Interac games before they come?
Apparently not, because it was
really.
Yeah, so we already have. It looks like the bracket is kind of being uploaded right now. We can tell you that Episcopal will be hosting Westtown on Friday.
Oh, okay.
That just came out. It looks like the Haverford School is the 3. Episcopal is the 5. And outside of that, no other Delco teams repping. Friends Central 6.
Okay.
They just won the Friends League today.
Is Shipley in there?
Shipley is the 8.
Okay.
So yeah, the bracket's giving me an error sign, but what I can tell you is that playoff baseball will be at Stone Field, Episcopal Westtown on Friday.
All right.
That'll be the 5-12 matchup. So Haverford School will play. What's up? That'll be this is 12 teams. So it looks like they'll play the winner of Friends Central, and it could be another Penn Charter rematch.
Oh wow! All right.
Interesting. All right, we'll talk more about that in the next episode when we have more information. But we'll keep going on the power rankings here. We got
episode out.
Yeah, Garner Valley at number 4. Before they had lost, obviously these were done Sunday, so this doesn't reflect the games on Monday. They had ripped off, I think, 7, maybe 5, 6, 7 Central League games in a row.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think this is their this is the highest they've been. They were in the top 5 last week. Making their top 5 debut at 5 is Penncrest. After their week, they went 2-1, I believe. They beat Interborough. They beat Marple. I mean, what else can you say about Gavin Brown at this point?
Yeah.
Same thing, number 6, Lower Marion. They moved up 2 spots because they took down Haverford. Another walk-off. Those boys at South Ardmore love their walk-off wins. Haverford stays at 7. They lost that game. They had a good week. Other than that, they clinched their berth in the playoffs. Episcopal at number 8. You know, it's a weird dynamic where they're 17-9, but they're 3-6 in the conference, so not exactly sure what to do with these guys. They do deserve. They beat Tucker Delisle, West Virginia commit. That deserves them to keep their spot.
Sure.
And Radnor making their first appearance in the power rankings all season. It's at the perfect time. If you want to peak at the right time, you did that there. The Raptors now 9-7 at the time of this, 8-7, and will be dancing.
Now, as we have finished up the power rankings for this season, got to give a quick shout out to our guy, Jason McDevitt Hitting Lessons, for sponsoring the power rankings for the season. Very much appreciate you getting on board this year. Now, what are McDevitt Hitting Lessons? Well, our guy, Jason, provides individual and small group hitting instructions to players ages 8 to 18. He also runs weekly hitting clinics for players ages 8 to 13. He's been a hitting instructor for over 6 years. Played at Westchester. He's also coached several high-level travel teams like the Top Lumber 18U Futures. Had a lot of players on the team like Gavin Brown, we've talked about plenty in this episode, Danny Stickney, Brian Cawthorn, Fred Jordan, a lot of talented players. He's located in Glen Mills and Swarthmore. You can find him on Facebook and Instagram, McDevitt Hitting Lessons, or 610-842-7193. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see right now, what is that contraption? That is a blow-up batting cage, patent pending right now. Believe you can order those for a team. You can probably rent, I'd imagine, as well, doing lessons in there. But a very innovative idea, and I have made it my goal to hit a ball so hard that I pop that moon bounce right there and send it back to testing. That's my weight room goal for this offseason. But give Coach McDevitt a shout out if you're looking for team or group lessons.
But now that we got the power rankings, it's time to pull up the players of the week from last week, and I feel like we've pretty much done a good job explaining how good these guys have been. So we're not
much more explanation needed.
But Gavin Brown and Austin Havertine, I won't say easy choices, but I mean on the mound, the no-hitter was obviously a smart decision for us.
I thought they were pretty easy choices.
I would say Zane Malarkey, I think, was 5 for 6 or 5 for 7.
He did have a good day. Yeah.
He had a homer and a couple extra base hits, so it was definitely going into the game of the week. I thought Zane was kind of a lock for that, but Gavin's performance definitely earned his spot there. So shout out to those guys. We enjoy doing the power rankings and the players of the week. That'll be it for this year doing that, but we look forward to it. I think power rankings and player of the week could come back for maybe like Delco League stuff or Legion or something like that throughout the summer. So definitely,
for sure.
Definitely keep an eye out for that.
Maybe like one final starting 9 at the end of the year too.
Yeah,
everyone's done for high school.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. All right. Well, the PCL tournament, weather permitting, is going to start on Wednesday, and we have one Delco team that will be in the first round. That'll be O'Hara. They're taking on Archbishop Wood. We'll see what happens weather-wise, but I would imagine that Noah McMullen probably gets the ball. I feel like he's been their guy, but they kind of go back and forth. Like could be Jack Quinn, McManus.
Yeah, McManus has been getting a lot of starts recently.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I think it'd be McManus. But
one way to find out. But opening day, O'Hara took down Wood, so it's gonna be some revenge for the Wood guys over there. So they are the 8 seed. Wood is the 9. Bonner is the 5 seed. They do not get a home game, at least not yet. They will be going to St. Joe's Prep Saturday at noon for their first round game. Once again, single elimination tournament. See how easy this is. So just get a tournament done. Single elimination tournament. Bonner lost to St. Joe's Prep on last Monday due to a walk-off. It was either wild pitch or pass ball. So see if Bonner's able to get their revenge there. We don't need to go through the whole bracket, but LaSalle is the 1 seed at 11-1. Surprise team of the PCL, Conwell Egan 9-3 is the 3 seed. But we'll get more into that once the whole tournament gets going. But good luck to the O'Hara boys against Wood in that matchup there. We will have a written preview for that by one of our interns coming out before the game on Wednesday on DelcoBaseballNow.com. So keep an eye out for that. A couple other games this week before we move on to college baseball. Episcopal and Haverford doesn't mean anything for seeding, doesn't mean anything for the interact, just more about pride at this point. 2 good teams in a rivalry game. Another rivalry. That word always. That word.
Tough one. It's a tough.
I just want to make a compilation of me saying rivalry on this show and how many times I've butchered it. But Sun Valley and Chichester. Sun Valley's already out. Chichester's already in. Same thing though. Those guys, they don't like each other. They've made it clear they don't like each other.
Don't like each other might be an understatement.
Yeah. Good football Thanksgiving game.
Oh yeah, great one.
And then Malvern Prep at Del Barton. So obviously this is a bit out of the way, but it's probably, you could argue, the best team in the state of Pennsylvania and the best team in the state of New Jersey. Gloucester Catholic up there as well for Jersey. But, I think that's a really fun game. I feel like I remember Freddie Hilliard saying it was at a cool site. They already played at the Trenton Thunder, so maybe that's what I was thinking of. But definitely a game that if you want to follow a Game Changer or something is very cool. But we're going to get into college here because we got a lot of guys from the Delco general area that will be playing in both the NCAA D2 and NCAA D3 World Series. So we're kind of just going to go down the list of guys and their teams that we've had. So I will start off here with the Westchester Golden Rams. So they are headed to the Division II tournament. Not only that, they are hosting their regional and potentially super regional. So to put it in simpler terms, every game they play until the College World Series will be in Westchester. So that's a good way to think about it. They earned that with how good they were. A 43-7 regular season is absurd. So we got from Marple, Andrew Cantwell, from Bonner, Johnny DiMucci, and Kyle Laser, Joe Sperone from O'Hara, and Casey Vaughn, new addition this year from Springfield. All those guys have had big roles this year. And, shout out Springfield for Benny Boy. And I believe in the D2 bracket, correct me if I'm wrong, I think outside of Mike Costello and Millersville, I think that Dylan Biddle on Goldie Beacom is the only other rep we have. We have a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's it for D2.
I'm going to pull up the bracket here, but I'm pretty sure that that's all we got.
Yeah, I think it was just Westchester, Millersville, and Goldie Beacom.
Do we have an IUP? I don't think we have an IUP, do we?
No, I looked through the PSAC guys. We'll have a couple. We'll have a Seton Hill next year, Sean Williams. I think there's
Jefferson. Wait, do we have any Jeffersons?
No, we don't. I checked Jefferson
Not yet. That's where Will Hoffman's going.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. We're gonna have
I got Jefferson and Holy Family confused in my head because same color, same area.
Yeah, we'll have a couple more.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm looking through this. There's a lot of non-local teams. We'll have 2 Wingate guys next year.
Yeah,
they're in it right now.
They won it though a couple years ago.
Yeah, they definitely did. All right. Well, let's move on to D3 here then. And Ben, I'll kind of let you take the lead because this is your jurisdiction. But just pretty much to start off.
All right. So we got. We're just gonna read down this list. Honestly, we'll go from there. Top of the list, first one we got, and probably I think the first one they actually clinched. Actually, no, Hopkins was, but Immaculata. They won the Atlantic East. I always mess up. There's a bunch of
I think it's Atlantic.
I think yeah. So they won the Atlantic East. Beat Cabrini. Kind of ran through that tournament. They beat Cabrini twice. Beat Marymount, who was the 1 seed. They got a decent amount of Delco guys. Steve Tyson is their shortstop. Kind of bats in the middle of the order for them. He's probably the big one. Steven DiBattista as well on the mound. We'll see him throw in a regional. We got Johnny Fitzpatrick. He's been a bullpen pitcher for them. Eric Molinaro is a backup catcher. And then Matt Rolls is also a bullpen pitcher. So potential to see some of those guys. But DiBattista and Tyson will be the 2 main. And they ended up going to – oh, no.
Did you lose it?
It was on the top. It was on the tip of my tongue. They're in –
Are they Harrisburg?
No. That's E-Town.
I'm pulling
They
up the bracket.
are they Misericordia?
I'm looking up the bracket right now. Let's see.
Yep. So Immaculata, they are in the Christopher Newport Regional. They'll go down to Virginia. I believe they're the 4th seed in there. They'll be facing Christopher Newport in their first game. It's a really good team that they're going up against, but so is Immaculata. So we should expect to see a good game. I don't know if it'll be DeBattista will be one of the first games. We will see him throw. So that'll be exciting. Second on the list, we got Johns Hopkins. They're
hosting their own, right?
They're hosting their own regional, yeah. And another local team, Arcadia, is down in there. They have no Delco guys. Hopkins has Isaiah Winokur and Jake Ciani, who's not a Delco guy, but played in the Delco League a bunch. They're the defending runner-ups. Should be another deep run in the tournament for them, if I had to guess. I'm trying to think.
Also, it looks like Isaiah Winokur is back and healthy. He looks like he missed a good couple weeks, but he played on May 6th.
That's good. That's good because it was weird. He was like he had been on that hitting streak and then just stopped playing. And I mean, the only thing that the only theory that could make sense is that he was hurt.
Yeah, he missed from April 12th to April 27th. He was out. But the Haverford School alum, I believe, is a grad student. I think he's done after this year. So
yeah, unless he might have a 6th year, but
I'm not sure. I don't remember what high school year he was, but I think this might be his 6th year.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. All right. I'll take the next one off your hands here.
All
Alvernia is they are heading to, let's see what regional they are going to, because they won their conference, which I think is the MAC. Are they the MAC Commonwealth?
Yes.
And the MAC
Freedom. I think they're the Freedom. I think they're the MAC Freedom.
Freedom. One of them is the Freedom. One of them is the Commonwealth.
I know Widener's in the Freedom. So
all right. Well, they are going to Case Western Reserve. That is in Cleveland, Ohio. They are the 4th seed, so they will be taking on Case Western Reserve. We got Shane McDermott and Logan Nelson from Garnet Valley. We got Luke Jones from Springfield. I believe that of the 3, Logan Nelson starts in center field. I think the other 2 guys are just reserves.
Luke's gotten some decent time.
Yeah. I think he's someone that they could it's not like he's just like a freshman who never plays. Like he might not start, but there's a chance that we see him. Same with Shane out of the pen. So I'm going to let you take the 2 landmark teams after this year.
We got 3 of them.
3 landmark teams. Yeah.
Unprecedented year for the landmark. This is actually the first time ever that the landmark has 3
I didn't know it was the first ever.
Yeah. First, they are for a long time, they were a 1-bid league. And just recently started getting, I think you look at teams like Catholic and especially Catholic and E-Town started playing, I think, a lot better out of conference schedules and winning more of those games. So they've started to get some of those at-large bids. But yeah, so Catholic, they are in the Baldwin-Wallace regional. They play Adrian, close.
Start with an A.
Yeah, right around there. I was stuck on the Augustinian thing from the Malvern.
From the Malvern Prep, yeah.
But yeah, so they go out. That is in Berea, Ohio. So they play Baldwin-Wallace. Baldwin-Wallace also has Max Anastasio on there.
We're getting a Sammy B versus Max.
Potentially, that's Catholic's the 3. So if they beat Adrian and Baldwin-Wallace, or if they both lose, we will be getting an Upper Derby Blue Sox matchup. Man.
Blue Sox might cease to exist after that one.
That could be there could be some beef there. But no, that should be a fun. I mean, Catholic they made a deep run to the World Series 2 years ago. So some of those guys have some experience. That would be interesting to see what they do. Delco guys for Catholic, Sammy Berman, Roman Tazi, they're 2 huge contributors. I think Sammy hits 3rd for them. Roman just won the pitcher of the year in the landmark. Congrats to him. He's their ace.
Yep.
So we're gonna see a lot of those guys.
I think do they have one more? I think Ryan Kearney from Bonner is.
Yeah, Ryan Kearney's also there. I don't know if he played this year, but he is on that team. Yes,
still there. Maybe he's hurt.
Yeah, never know. We'll see a lot of Delco out of those guys. Speaking of another team, we hopefully see a lot of Delco out of. I was sweating this out earlier today watching the selection show because there was Catholic and E-Town were the 2 two of the last at-large teams. Like they went through the entire selection show in the last two brackets. E-Town was in the first of the last two brackets, and Catholic was in the last two. So it was a bit of a sweat watching, but yeah, E-Town's in there in the Penn State Harrisburg bracket. They're led by Quentin Pirelli, who has just kind of done everything for them. He's pitched a little bit, and at the plate, he's just been unbelievable. He was a Landmark Conference Player of the Year as well. A little Delco sweep there. But
both sophomores too.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be fun to see like how their careers play out. Yeah. One thing with him, he came out of the game in the Landmark tournament against Catholic and then didn't play again against Scranton. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. Hopefully he's back and healthy in time for the regional. But that is probably something important to note. So that's Quinn's our main Delco guy there. Also there, Bonner's Chris Graziani. I also don't think he's played a ton this year, but hey, still there, still kicking. Yeah, doing his thing.
What about who from Delco's on Scranton?
So I think they have a bunch of Delco League guys.
I know that, yeah.
The one Delco guy is Deuce. Again, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he is there. You got another Blue Sock, Connor Campbell, who I don't know if you saw. They posted the catch he made against E-Town in the final game.
Oh, you said it to me, yeah.
Yeah, it was like going over the wall in left field with a great catch.
Deuce Ruzzicolo. Oh my God.
Yeah, tough one.
Any name that starts with RZ is ridiculous.
Yeah, those are
Zukidlo.
two.
I'm gonna guess it's a silent R. Zukidlo is what I'm going with.
Yeah, those are two consonants that should never be together.
Zukidlo. That is brutal.
But yeah, so he's there. Chris Gutt pitches for Narberth.
I was gonna say it says Narberth, PA on his.
Yeah, he was a prep guy. I think he was a St. Joe's prep guy, and then
we got a lot of like kind of Delco guys here.
Yeah, the decent amount of that.
We'll claim them if they win. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Scranton, they're also in the Newport News, Virginia Regional, so they're in there with Christopher Newport and the Maculata.
All right, well, we got two more teams that have just one guy. So Keystone has won their 19th straight conference championship. First time in a new conference, though. So I know that this one has to feel a lot better for these guys. Like, not that it didn't feel good in their last one, but it's got to feel nice now that they're their first year in a new conference. They immediately go in and win. So they are in the Misericordia region, which we have two Delco guys there. Yep. Drew Van Horn, and we didn't even have him on the list. I totally forgot. Drew Van Horn from Garnet Valley and Brian Henry from Bonner. Brian Henry was dealing with an injury he threw this week, according to Drew. So there's a good chance to get him back.
That's good.
Those are both freshmen that got opportunities to play right away. So Misericordia hosting the region. Jake McDonough from Haven, Will Tamar from Haverford will be there next year. Keystone is the 3 seed. They are playing Middlebury. Keystone has just one Delco guy, Darren Hagan from Garnet Valley, who's had a monster year from them. So hopefully we get a Delco rep coming out of that Misericordia Keystone combo.
There's a lot of Upper Darby Blue Sox in these regionals, which makes me concerned about like what we're gonna do next week.
I was gonna say we play you guys a week. We play you guys a week from today. We actually play you guys a week from today. I don't imagine either of us won't be there because we'll be at high school playoff games.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see when. Oh, I don't know. I was talking to Dave earlier. He said I was going to have to throw more innings for them this year. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But yeah, I was just going through all these guys like, dude, like we're going to have no one.
I mean, the Blue Sox are only built of D3 baseball players. Like, it's just hysterical. But so
populate the D3 regionals. It's all right.
I believe last on the list here, if we're missing someone, we apologize. We're doing our best. Randolph Macon has John Queasy from Conestoga. I just had them up here. They're in that Harrisburg region. They are playing Elizabethtown, so you'll have to be rooting against Queasy here. But we'll have, if Elizabethtown or Randolph Macon win, we'll have one of our guys there. So believe that's all we got for our D3 guys. I mean, that right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you count Baldwin Wallace, max 10 Misericordia. So I like our chances to get someone at least into a super.
Yeah, for sure. Hopkins should win their regional. And then Misericordia, obviously, as a host, has a very good shot as well. And then you kind of go from there. I think pretty much from there, it's almost anyone's game. I know that Penn State Harrisburg regional with E-Town, Randolph-Macon, Harrisburg, and I have no idea who was the other team in that. Bridgewater State, like that feels pretty open to me, where anyone could win. So we'll kind of see with that. I know Penn State Harrisburg had a really good year this year, but that one feels pretty open. Catholic, I think they have a shot to make a run. And then outside of that, it's still though, like we have the numbers on our side. So you got to hope that someone will make a super here.
All right, well, good luck to all the college guys. The D1 tournament is a little bit later. We know Clemson and Alden Mathis will be in, but outside of that, I don't think there's any, put it like this, I don't think there's any Delco guys on at-large teams, if that's fair, that I can think of just off the top of my head. Like I feel like a lot of guys are, like A10 guys or, other schools that need, I don't think Pitt, maybe, probably not. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's move on to wrap things up with our Delco guys in the minor leagues. So we'll start off with Billy Corcoran, Ridley native, Malvern Prep alum. He was named the Arizona Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the month. And check out some of these numbers. 36 strikeouts to 7 walks.
Jeez.
His best performance, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and struck out 8. Now, this is interesting. They're facing the Spokane Indians, who are actually the Rockies' high A team, not Cleveland. Which
that makes perfect sense.
Kind of thrown off. But yeah, I mean, he was undrafted free agent, 2.22 ERA. Would love to see him in AA this year. I would like to hear your thoughts on that while I look up what AA is for Arizona.
Arizona's AA. I want to take a guess. Frisco. No, not Frisco. Never mind. I give up.
Amarillo Sod Poodles.
Never would have gotten that, but that's just kind of a sick name.
Why not? Yeah.
No, that's huge out of Billy. I think my biggest fear now is seeing him do so well is that they're going to turn him into another pitcher that just destroys the Phillies in October.
Honestly, yeah.
That 36 strikeouts to 7 walks has me getting flashbacks of Brandon Fott and Kevin Ginkel and all those guys just dominating.
Man, he throws strikes. His changeup is probably his best pitch, which is kind of hilarious for a 6'7" guy to do, but it just drops off the table. Speaking of Malvern Prep alums from Delco, Chris Newell's having a funny start to the year because he's only hitting 200, but he's leading the Midwestern League with 9 homers, and his OPS is still over 800. So the power combined with, I'm guessing he's walking a good amount as well, is doing it. And, teams like a team like the Dodgers, I said it when they drafted him, you get the speed and the power, and they can help develop the rest. And I'd say leading your league in homers is pretty good after a month.
Yeah, let's hear it for 3-2 outcomes baseball. It's the big, but yeah, no, that's huge, man. Showing the power numbers and like you said, the OPS shows that he's getting on base a decent amount as well too. In addition to
very Schwarbery season going on so far for the kid.
Nothing wrong with that. I love me some Kyle Schwarber.
All right, well, speaking of someone that is having a power surge, Nate Furman, who had 0 home runs in his first pro season. He had 2 against the Dayton Dragons on Friday. He has 3 on the season now and 2 in one game, which, I mean, if you told me before the season, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Hitting 276, 750 OPS, a very good start considering that last year he struggled in that jump from low A to high A. It seems like this year he's starting to kind of get back to those low A ways in terms of production, and it's an encouraging start.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, moving up levels, I think it always, not for everyone, but for a lot of guys, it takes a little bit to get used to. Just with the better pitching, better everything. Seeing him have some power now too is really encouraging.
Yeah, especially to be able to still have that speed and defense, just to add another potential tool, is very, very promising for him. Speaking of sweet swinging lefty Bonner former infielders, Kevin McGonigal off to a nice start with the Lake one. You like that little segue there?
There was a lot.
There's a lot going on, but all accurate, undersized lefty Bonner middle infielders that are playing professional baseball.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah. that would sell out. A nice start for Kevin. 313 average, 806 OPS. These are just this right here is a classic Kevin McGonigal stat. 6 walks to 5 strikeouts in 48 events.
Yep, makes
Play
sense.
discipline's still there. Another thing that I found interesting to note is that he's played 4 games at second and 4 games at short, but more importantly, 0 errors in either of them. So it seems like they want to give him a chance to play short, but also like, hey, if it doesn't work out, or maybe we get another better short, like whatever it may be, like we want you to be ready to play both. So
yeah, for sure. Versatility is good. Like I think, especially getting up to the major leagues, you're going to need to play a couple different positions because you never know who's going to be where.
Yeah. I saw his player comp when he got drafted was Scooter Gennett, and honestly, I mean, middle infielder. I mean, he had that 4 home run game.
Yeah,
so I don't mind that. And listen, I think
Scooter, which is
I think right now, if someone told me that he'd have Scooter Gennett's career, I'm like, well, we're not Reds fans and we know who he is, so I would consider that overall a pretty successful. You
gotta think about it. If they say he's going to have anyone who played a decent amount in the major leagues career, like you're going to take that.
Absolutely, because baseball is
incredibly hard.
Such a crapshoot. Yeah. All right, well, that is all we got on this episode. The Phillies have done a great job. They're off to one of their best starts, but just based on the sake of time, and our focus has been such on our high school and college guys that we have all summer to bore you guys with Philly stuff. So we're going to save that for a couple weeks from now. Plus, at the end of the day, no one looks at the baseball standings until June anyway, so it doesn't matter. But with that being said, very excited to have our full team of interns starting this week. We're going to be pushing a lot of content. We're going to have another show. We haven't exactly decided yet, but it'll be out before the episode on Monday. I would say there's a good chance we record.
We should do if you're not subbing on Thursday, we should do just like the midnight live reaction to the ranking.
Honestly, I genuinely think Thursday is probably the best night for us to record.
Yeah, I'm so down to wait until those rankings are out and do that.
I mean, if I'm on the Zoom call, I'll have the bracket pretty quickly. But I think what we do is I go into the Zoom meeting, write the brackets down, leave, and then go on Instagram live and be like, "Hey, I have the keys. Like the bracket's not officially up and out yet, but come hop on our live stream and find out."
We could Instagram live the Zoom call. Like I'll just sit there with a mic.
That would be funny.
Hear all the thought process.
Yeah.
That would get us kicked out really quickly. But
PIAA is already a pain to deal with. So but before we say anything else that'll get us in trouble, thank you as always for listening. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Follow us at Delco Baseball on all social media platforms. We're excited to get into this playoff push. The regular season went by quick for us. I don't know about you guys, but now this is where we make our money. This is where we make our money. It's going to be fun, and looking forward to having you guys on board. So as always, thank you for listening. We'll have updates on when the next episode is soon, but we will see you next time.